This was probably the most boring step out of all of them, the storyboarding and breakdown analysis. It did prove quite useful in editing. However, you can see like that's just for the final media product, the storyboarding on the bottom, and my art skills aren't great, so it took even longer, but overall it was easy to follow the direction of the actual scene, so it was quite useful, especially when editing. No, sure, yeah.
The acting in the clip, there wasn't much of it. It was just walking and then dying, really. But it wasn't too hard because it was just literally just walking and dying. An example of how I had to show my scumminess as the character was when he leant over the bridge and spat, or when he was doing graffiti or lighting up a joint. It showed that he had reason to suffer and die.
And before filming, I researched the film The Ring, as my character was based out of the girl from The Ring. And from the film, I used small movements and a lack of dialogue, as I didn't talk at all. And this was used to create tension and to make it more scarier.
And finally, when filming, the technology we used had a lot of good functions to sort of like keep the continuity of the piece evolved constantly. Like the preliminary tasks, we filmed over a number of sessions, some lasting 20 minutes, some lasting for like a couple of hours sometimes. And we did get obviously the best particular shots possible, but sometimes we were left standing in the cold not knowing what to do. At one time, me and Karen spent 50 minutes outside Dancing Park looking for inspiration. Obviously it did come eventually, but it was cold and wet and it wasn't fun, so finally editing.
A lot of editing was mainly done by me and Michael. The flashback effect you see throughout the thing was something that I had to create using a video effect and changing the exposure and colour on the actual clip. A lot of what we had to do during editing was cutting down clips to the right length, making them seem quick and sharp, transitions between them. Another thing we had to do was download some clips off YouTube to find actual sound to put on the clip. For example, the scream at the end was taken off of a clip on YouTube.
And tying in with the sound, we used a lot of sound effects because the quality of the sound is sort of like sounded like someone was whistling into the mic because of the wind. And we also used a lot of sound effects as like a sound bridge between clips. So if we was to continue on making them, say the next 5 minutes of the film, we could easily link the two things together. One final part of editing is the credits. Us as a group, we really like the credits from Dawn of the Dead. If you haven't seen it, it's sort of a blood effect and sort of like splats everywhere. So we did try to recreate something sort of like the red from the Dawn of the Dead credits is obviously used as a precursor, and copied this so we could mimic the same effect. So we come up with the final media product, we just show it in now. quickly talk about our opinions overall. So.
Overall, I thought our final product was really successful. I thought we engaged with our audience really well. Our audience were young teenagers like us and kids who love media, who love horror films. And I thought we could attract these properly as the antagonist and the protagonist were both people our age. However, I think we've all learnt from this that we wouldn't really film outside again, as there came a lot of disadvantages with it. For example, there were so many distractions in our shots for like people walking their dogs, and also the weather. It was really cold, and because I was dressed in a dress, I found it freezing cold. And also because it's winter, it got dark really quickly. And also because we were filming in a play park, when we finished school, it was really busy, and we found out that by the time all the people had gone out of the park, that it was too dark, so we couldn't film. I'm just going to quickly talk about our audience. For our audience, like I said before, we aimed it at teenagers our age and people who like horror films, and we attracted this. And also, it's sort of the sense that Callum was smoking, so some people think it's a sin, so it almost gives the effect that what happened to Callum, the protagonist, could happen to anyone. For researching the audience, I went into a Year 9 film and I showed it to them twice. The first time I showed it to them, I just told them to watch it, and the second time I told them to think what they thought the scariest scene was and how they would rate it out of 10. And they thought that the scariest scene was when I was walking up behind Callum, as they didn't know what was going to happen next. And during it, one boy actually screamed and said that he didn't want to watch it anymore, because I asked them if they wanted to watch it again. And when I left the room, I heard the form tutor say, "Oh, do you want to watch it again?" And all the kids were like, "Yeah." I also showed it to a group of Year 7 girls, and they said that they didn't find it as scary as the Year 9s did. And here are just some quotes from what they said. One girl said, "I found it really scary when the fuzzy images flashed up on the screen with the fuzzy sound effect." And one more said, "I think it should be suitable for people aged 15, and I wasn't really scared from the beginning, but I think if the film was to carry on, it would get scarier." And overall, we're going to aim our film at, we're going to have it as a rating of 15. As kids 12 and 13 could watch it now, because it's only the beginning. If the horror film was to carry on, it could get scarier and there could be like more gore in it.
Yeah, some my favourite moments was sort of filming. At one point, I had to climb up a tree and film Callum walking around the tree. Wasn't that fun when it was all cold and wet again? And then as well as that, being able to control the sounds was quite good, because I haven't had that chance before. So I like to sort of experiment with such like asynchronous sounds. Like when he's shouting and screaming, I think that worked quite well. Any opinions?
I thought it worked quite well. I think that we fitted the brief we were given quite well, so I think quite successful.
I think as a group at first we might have had some difficulties, but once we worked through the difficulties, we got everything done as scheduled, and I think we're all happy with our result.
So, thanks for watching.